Welcome to the Muscle Building Mastery Podcast, where guys that want to build muscle come to learn how to do it properly. We understand that there's more to building muscle than mindlessly throwing weights around and chugging mass gainer shakes. We're not interested in quick fixes or anabolic assistance. We're interested in mastering the art, science and skill set required to stack on real muscle and strength. My name's Andy Clements, and for the last 12 years I've devoted my life to figuring out how guys like us who don't have amazing genetics, don't have 5 hours a day to spend in the gym, and don't want to take steroids as a shortcut can build insane amounts of muscle and strength in weeks and months, not years and decades. This podcast is the result of all the lessons I've learned along the way, and it will give you the blueprint to building more muscle in less time. To get you started, head to www.musclebuildingmastery.net to download your free 6-week workout plan. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Muscle Building Mastery Podcast. My name's Andy Clements, and I'm really excited to have you here because in this episode of the Muscle Building Mastery Podcast, we're talking about something a little bit different. We're talking about deloads. Now, what is a deload? That's what we're going to discuss in this episode of the podcast. I'm going to talk about what it is. I'm going to talk about why it's important. I'm going to talk about why you should be concerned about using it. And we're going to talk about when you should take a deload and how you can tell when you need a deload. So deloads are a really, really important aspect of building muscle, and it's something that I ignored, or rather more accurately, just didn't even know about for years. Like, I just didn't know a deload was a thing, you know? And so I ended up, my not only my physique and my muscle mass was suffering, but my body as a whole was suffering, and I was getting injured and all these different things. Anyway. This was what was happening to me, because when I started using this kind of low volume training method, I've spoke about that in previous podcasts. Like, go and have a flick through the podcast that I've done to hear me talking about the low volume training method. I'm sure I'll do some more in the future. But basically, the low volume training method in a nutshell means that you choose intensity and strength and weight over volume, right? So you're going to do a much harder, more intense, heavy set for 1 or 2 sets than a half-assed 50% effort, 50% weight set for like 10 sets, right? That's you know, extremes I'm talking about there. But that's essentially the type of training that I employed and I still employ now, and I recommend everybody employ if they're serious about building muscle. So the low volume method of training was amazing. I started seeing results so good. Literally within like 4 weeks, my strength went through the roof. My muscle mass was increasing visibly before my eyes. My weight was going up on the scale. Everything was just going amazingly well. And I was like, oh my God, I am going to absolutely crush this. I'm going to keep doing it every single week, every single day. I'm going to keep smashing this. And I saw results for like the first 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 weeks, like really, really fast. And then just like all of a sudden, without changing anything, I was kept doing the same things and I kept doing all the right things. But randomly, my progress just kind of like screeched to a halt. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I stopped beating numbers. Like, I stopped being able to push through my strength, just like all at once, right? And I started seeing all these weird things happen. Like, I remember this one particular time, I went into the gym to train legs, right? And for like the last 6 weeks in a row, I'd been crushing my leg workouts. Like, I'd been beating numbers, not just by a little bit, I'd been crushing my PBs, right? I was like reaching all-time strength on the leg press, on the squat, even on the leg extension, on all these different movements, right? I was reaching PBs after PBs after PBs. I was feeling amazing. My legs were growing. I was like, you know? So I was like really, really having a good time with legs. And I went into this, it was like week 7 or week 8 or something like that, of my new like training methodology, and I went into the gym to train legs, and I just had no energy whatsoever, and I was just flat, and I was just no motivation, and I just couldn't figure out why. I was like, I don't know why I feel like this. Why do I feel like this when everything is going so well? Everything is going so well. I should be able to, you know, come in and be really energetic and be really, you know, up for it. But I just couldn't be bothered, you know. I just couldn't get my head in the right space that I'd had it in every week previous, you know, to greater and greater degrees, because I saw the progress coming. I was getting more and more motivated and more energetic and more strong. And this one week, I was just like, I just can't get myself in the zone, in the headspace, you know. And so I was like, right, I'm just gonna like mind over matter. I'm just gonna, you know, just try and just overcome this feeling. Maybe it's just a bad day. Maybe I just need a pre-workout. Maybe I just need a coffee. Maybe I need stimulants. Maybe I just need some loud music, you know. So that's what I did. I took a pre-workout and I got my head in the right space and I was like, right, okay, I'm going to do it. You know, I'm going to really get for it. And I managed to G myself up a little bit. And, you know, I got on the squat and I loaded the bar up with the previous weight I had. And then I put like an extra bit of weight on and I was like, I'm going to progressively overload this. We're going to get it. We're going to kill it. We're going to crush it. And I absolutely bombed. You know, I absolutely bombed. Yeah, the previous week I might have got a certain weight. I don't know, I can't remember the exact weights, but I might have got a certain amount of weight for like 5 reps, and I was like, right, I'm going to get more weight on, and I might have got like 1 or 2 reps. You know, I absolutely bombed the set, and I was like, what's going on there? And then my back off set, I was like, right, okay, I'll try the back off set, and I bombed the back off set as well, and I might have got like 3 or 4 reps on a back off set. I was like, what's going on? Like, why can't I do that? So I was like, right, let's write that off in my head. It's okay, don't worry about that. Let's go on to the leg press. Went to leg press, bombed the leg press. Like bombed it, like had to strip the weight off to actually get a decent leg press set in, like stripping it right back, like regressing. Can you imagine how that feels, like trying to regress your leg press sets right back when you're trying to progressively overload? It's soul destroying. And then I got on a leg extension, the same thing happened. I got on a leg curl, same thing happened. I was lunging, the same thing happened. I was like, what's going on? Everything was just bombed. I just bombed on everything. I was like, what is going on? And I wanted to carry on progressing. I really, really wanted to carry on progressing, but I just felt exhausted. And no amount of positive thinking, no amount of G'ing myself up at this point could help me get over that hurdle. No amount of even nervous system activation, which I was learning about and I've spoke about on this podcast before, no amount of any of that stuff could get me past this hurdle when my body was just saying, no, not today. So my body was beat up. My joints hurt, my energy was low, my motivation sucked, and I just didn't want to be there, you know. And and as the session went on, and I started bombing sets, and I started losing strength, and I was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. Like, I can't seem to get myself up for this. I can't seem to do it. And I was trying to push through. I was trying to beat numbers, trying to do all the right things, but it just wasn't happening for me. And I was just getting really frustrated and really, really annoyed, and just really like arguing with reality. Like, no, I should be able to do this, but I couldn't. And so that leg session when everything bombed was like the final straw. It was like maybe 8 weeks in, something like that. And I was like, no, I'm not having this. Like, I'm not having this whatsoever. But luckily, around the same time, I started talking. I was like kind of complaining about it, really. I was complaining about it to a friend of mine who I sometimes trained with, and who was a really, really knowledgeable guy. And I was complaining. I was like, look, I'm doing this due training, and I'm seeing amazing results, but I've just started bombing my sessions. I've started bombing my sets, and I was telling about the squat and the leg press and all these things. And he was saying, dude, how long have you been doing this? And I was like, 8 weeks, 9 weeks maybe. Like, I've been doing it for a while. And he's like, have you had a deload yet? I was like, what's a deload? You know, I was like, what does that mean? I didn't even know that was a thing. And he was like, he's like, mate, you need a deload. It's like, you're not weak, you just need a deload. Like, we all need deloads. We can't go on progressing weights forever without taking a break. And he said to me, the thing most people don't understand is muscle building is not linear. Like most people think muscle building goes up in like a straight line, right? So like if you know like a line graph, right? You've got a vertical axis and a horizontal axis like this. Then most people think muscle building goes up in like a diagonal line from the bottom to the top, right? And most people think it's just like progress after progress after progress. And that's not how muscle building is in reality. Muscle building is not linear. Muscle building is cyclical. Okay, so what I mean by cyclical is instead of going straight up in a straight line, what happens is you get a spurt of growth, and then you either get a plateau or you get a little dip, right? And then you get another spurt of growth and you get a plateau and a little dip, and you get another spurt of growth, and so you step up. It's like steps up rather than a straight line, right? So think of muscle building as being like steps rather than I don't know, a hill, right? In terms of a graph. That's how muscle building is. It's cyclical in nature. It's not linear. And so when most people, like myself included, when I was going through this process and I was learning about deloads, I used to think that I should just be able to progress my weights every single time. I should be able to put more weight on the bar, more weight on the bar, more reps every single session, without fail. I should be able to continually do it. And the reality is, your body is going to get to a point where it just says no. I'm not doing it anymore. and you have to plan for that. And you can't continue to override your body's natural mechanisms. You can't do that. You might be able to do it for a week. You might be able to do it for a few days, a few sessions. But sooner or later, and sooner rather than later most of the time, you're gonna come unstuck. when it comes to trying to push through your body's natural tendency to want to break from training, and you need to plan for that. And so nowadays what I do is I plan for that response. I've now sort of got a little bit more in tune with body. I can feel it coming a little bit more. I can feel the early onset of that fatigue coming. But without fail, every 6 to 8 weeks, regardless if I'm bulking or I'm cutting or I'm maintaining or whatever I'm doing, right? Every 6 to 8 weeks, without fail, I will take a deload week. And a deload week will depend, what that will mean will depend on how I'm feeling at the time. Now, if I've got a lot of other stress on and I've got a lot of things on in my life, and I end up feeling really fatigued from my training, and I've had a really intense bout of training, in that previous stint, and I've seen a lot of growth, I've seen a lot of strength increases, but I feel really beat up. My joints are like aching and my muscles are sore and I'm not recovering from workouts and I'm tired, my sleep's disrupted and all that stuff. Then I might take a complete week off the gym. I might just be like, okay, the gym, I will come back and I will see you in a week. I still love you, but I will come back and I'll see you in a week, right? I will not touch the weights for a week. I will allow my body to recover, and I will plan for that cyclical little dip or little plateau on the step that we talked about of the cyclical muscle building curve. Does that make sense? So I will legislate for that. I won't try and push through it. And so that might come after 6 weeks, might come after 7 weeks, might come after 8 weeks. If I'm really feeling really strong and I'm feeling ridiculously powerful, it might come after 9 or 10 weeks, but that's only happened a couple of times when I'm feeling like superhuman and everything in my life, all the stars are aligning, there's nothing else stressful going on in my life. Like, I've got no financial worries, no relationship worries, no business worries, no anything, right? Everything's going perfect. That very rarely happens because life is more complex, as we know, right? So if I'm battered, I take a week off completely. If I'm not battered and I can just feel a little bit tired and I get to like the 8 week mark and I'm like, okay, I feel like I need a deload now, but I'm not feeling like I need to go lie in a dark room and close my eyes for a week. If I feel okay, then I'll probably still keep going to I'll probably go to the gym like 4 times in the deload week, but I'll do like 50% of the weight that I would normally do, and I will avoid going to failure at all costs, because that week is about recovery. That week is not about muscle building. Okay, in the long term, it's about muscle building because it's going to allow you to push on and build more muscle, but in the short term, it's about almost allowing your body to take stock, recover, repair the joints, repair the cartilage, repair the muscle, repair everything it needs to, repair neurologically, because it takes a big toll on your central nervous system, your brain, your spinal cord, and your peripheral nervous system. Allow your body to recover. Please, please, please. I know it's not a sexy thing to say. I know it's not something that's got a farming likes on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or anywhere, right? But allowing your body to recover will allow you to build more muscle. I 100% guarantee it. I 100% guarantee you can take that to the bank, right? Now, if, like I said, if I was battered, I would take a week off completely. If I was feeling okay, I would probably go to 50% of my weights, 50% of my intensity, and avoid failure. So do not go to failure in your deload weeks. So once I employed that, right, and once I figured out the missing piece in this low volume training method was deload weeks, was backing off with the weights and allowing my body and my brain and my nervous system to recover, I was able to, I had to lower my ego enough to take myself out of the gym. But once I started training again, once I went back to proper training after my deload week was finished and I got back into it, after the first couple of sessions, I was like, my strength came back, and not only did it come back, but I was like, I sort of took like another big leap forward in my strength, right? And there's no bombing sessions those first few weeks. Trust me, after you've had a deload and when you've got your mind right and your body right, there's no bombing sessions then. There's no bombing sets. You are on it. Your motivation is back. Your energy is back. Your strength goes up through the roof. And as a result, I built a ton more muscle than I would have done if I'd have tried to push through. My joints got better, my injuries got better, because I was starting to get injured, I was starting to get little niggles that I was having to see the chiropractor about. You don't need any of that stuff when you take deloads. It's all dealt with by your body's innate recovery mechanisms and innate intelligence. So And that's what happened to me, and I had no more of a lack of motivation, no more of a lack of energy, no more injuries, no more joint pain, none of that stuff, right? Everything was sorted out by just doing the simplest, ridiculously simple thing of taking a little bit of time off to recover. So that's what I did, and that's what I suggest you do as well. If you are intending on going into the gym when they reopen in 2 weeks' time. Are you excited about that? I'm excited about that. In 2 weeks' time, the gym's going to reopen in the UK. If they're already open where you are, fantastic, good for you. If you're watching this after the gym's reopen, fantastic, good for you too. But when the gyms reopen, if you're intending on going and smashing your body to smithereens, right, like I am, and absolutely smashing through your strength potentials, then you need to take a little bit of just a couple of minutes out of your day right now just to think about what you're going to do in terms of deload when your body tells you to back off, okay? So what I would suggest is, when you download your free workout plan, which I'm going to tell you about now, which is musclebuildingmastery.net, where you're going to get your 6-week free workout plan, that's a perfect opportunity for you to get back into the gym when they reopen in a couple of weeks' time, and get yourself back into your training, right? After that 6-week program's done, then your body, because the last couple of weeks, they're hard, man. They're really hard workouts. They're really hard. They're really brutal workouts. You're going to be lifting a lot more weight. You're going to be smashing your body through some really intense stresses. Now, once you've done them last couple of weeks, and you've done the whole 6-week plan, what I would suggest doing then is doing a deload week, and either doing the one of two options that I spoke about earlier that I do, which is assessing how you feel out of 10. Right? Now, if you feel, obviously you're not going to feel 10 out of 10 because you're going to be knackered, you're going to be beat up, but, you know, if you feel less than a 4, let's say, you know, if you feel physically less than a 4 or a 3 or something like that, then I would take a week off the gym completely, and I would just relax, and I would just eat good food, I would sleep, I would walk, I would meditate, I would do all the stuff that's relaxing, and allow your body to recover, allow your brain to recover, allow your nervous system to recover. Then if you feel maybe like between a 5 and a 6, or maybe a 7, if you feel anywhere above a 4, and then maybe go into the gym and do like 50% of your weights. Like, don't do intense workouts, don't go to failure, avoid the temptation to train hard. I'll never say that in any other context other than deloads, right? Because training hard is really, really important. But when it comes to deloads, the emphasis is on recovery, and it's just about pushing. You got to switch your mind from destroying your muscle mass to make it grow to pushing blood around your body to initiate recovery. That's the focus of your deload phase. So you've got to have be okay with lifting lighter weights, much lighter than you're capable of, and be okay with people looking at you and thinking, why is he not training hard, right? Because you're not there to train hard, you're there to initiate a deload phase. So that's my advice. First of all, go to www.musclebuildingmastery.net to grab your free 6-week workout plan. When your free 6-week workout plan is done, when you've finished it and you've followed it to the letter and you've got good results and you're starting to feel tired because you've done the 6 weeks, take a deload phase. Right? So take a deload phase, either take a week off or do 50% of your weights. Then you can go back and you can start the 6-week plan again. You can do a different program, you know, or you can pick up where you left off and start and just repeat the last 2 weeks over and over again, whatever you want to do. Okay? That's my advice. Do that and you will build insane amounts of muscle and strength, honestly, especially given that most of us right now are coming off a lengthy amount of time off the gym because they've been closed because of lockdown. It's gonna work, trust me. So that's all I've got for today. I hope that was useful for you. I hope you learned a little bit about deloads and why they're important and when to use them and how to do them. If you did, don't forget to go to musclebuildingmastery.net to grab your 6-week free workout plan. Please also subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, which are coming out every day or as many days as I can possibly push them out there. And let me know what you think in the comments or on the reviews on podcasts. Leave me a review and let me know what you think, and drop a like on the video, all that fun stuff, and share it with a friend so we can get the message out there. Hope that was useful, guys, and I'll see you next time on the Muscle Building Mastery podcast. If you're ready to stop wasting time in the gym and start mastering the skill of muscle building, go check out www.musclebuildingmastery.net to download your free 6-week muscle building workout plan. I have specifically formulated this workout plan to take you through the 3 stages of mastering your body, layering on a more advanced training methodology each week as you progress. That means that regardless of where you are with your training right now, this plan will push you forward and help you stack on more muscle and strength in just 6 weeks. So head to www.musclebuildingmastery.net now to grab your free 6-week workout plan.